I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good morning, Avinash Bajaj. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
I'm doing very well, Angel. Thanks a lot. In fact, today is an Indian festival day. It's called
Oh,
Diwali, so
yes,
I'm
yes,
celebrating
yes.
that at home.
So at the time of this recording, amazing audience, which is going to be just a month off, it is Diwali or Diwali. Also here in Trinidad as well. It's a celebration. It's the celebration of lights, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely is. We love it. My wife and I just love the festival.
Yeah, sweet treats. Well, in Trinidad we do curry, right? So it's really amazing. You have so many people cleaning in preparation. It's really amazing. My wife wrote on this last night because she's a nurse and her concern is the fireworks, which has been like it's something that has been incorporated. So she wrote a safety precaution to the fireworks that you're interacting with for Diwali. So yeah,
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 cool.
yeah. So Avinash, tell me, what part of the world are you in right now?
So I am in London right now. I'm originally from India, but right now I'm in London. I've been here for the last 7 years.
Ooh, are you lighting any dias there?
No, actually, it's not that common over here. My wife is, sees a lot more, she has a lot more faith and belief in the religious aspects of Diwali. I'm here for the food.
Okay. I like that. So, tell me which of your skills, or yeah, which of your skills is responsible for us meeting?
I believe it's my podcast. I run a podcast called the MBA Jam, where I interview people who've done an MBA to hopefully pass their knowledge to those who are considering doing an MBA education. So I believe it's that
Yeah,
has prompted us to speak.
yeah, podcaster family podcaster. Yeah. So, who did you learn that skill from, and where did you come up with that name from? The MBA Jam.
Yeah, so to be honest, I learned that skills from other podcasters. I think it was in December of 2015 that I started listening to a few podcasts because I was like, people are talking about this podcasting. What the hell is this all about? And I started off with the typical ones like John Lee Dumas and Pat Flynn. That's where I began. But then I got totally hooked onto the podcasting world. I listen to podcasts everywhere I go, whether I'm in the gym or whether I'm cycling to work or any free time, even if I'm shopping in a supermarket. So I was listening to podcasts and I was like, what if I could run a podcast? But I did not know what topic to run it on. But over the years, once since I finished my MBA, a lot of people come asking for advice as to should we do an MBA? Is it worth the education? Is it worth the money? So instead of giving one-on-one advice, I figured, look, there must be a more efficient way of getting this information out there to hundreds or maybe even hopefully thousands of people. That's where I got the idea for the podcast, and I was brainstorming names, and I don't know, it just hit me. I was like, it's almost like jamming with people, but on a specific topic of the MBA. So
Yeah,
that's how I got the name.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Wow, I love the idea. So when I think of it, it's like the NBA Jam. I remember like playing that game on Nintendo, NBA Jam. I think it was.
Correct. I
Uh,
think that's the correct. As actually, that was a problem because when I did a Google search, like MBA with the M, the NBA Jam came up a lot. So it took a while for the M. That's why I had to go to the MBA Jam because it was within, Masters of Business Administration. So the MBA was not very popular in the Google search results. That
so
took a while, but I think it's coming.
I'm sure it's up there now. I'm sure it's up there. Let me go check. I'll tell you. Let me see. I'll tell you from Trinidad. MBA Jam. Let's see what happens. Yeah, there we go. Second thing right there. So NBA Jam by EA Sports is first, as you said, right?
Yeah,
But it's because they have a podcast. So
correct.
and then NBA Jam is definitely there. Stories and insights from the world best MBA. So what did you do your MBA in?
So it's a generic MBA. I did my MBA at Imperial College London. Like I said, it's 6 7 years ago. It's a 1 year MBA. So in a 1 year MBA, you do not have that much time to focus on something. but I largely focus on entrepreneurship and strategy and a little bit of marketing.
That's great.
Those were my key areas because I came here to hopefully learn a lot more about how to start businesses and run businesses.
That's good. That's great, Avinash. Well, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
I thought about it a lot. I think it's been a couple. First thing is exercising. That's something I've tried to consistently do over the years. But the other thing that my wife and I have started doing is consistently try and travel because we love exploring new places and traveling to new places. So we have tried to incorporate that as much as possible among our, regular lifestyle of going to work. So yeah,
How
I
does that
I,
make
I
you
I would
feel?
say picking. Yeah, it's amazing. We love traveling. We love going to different places. We love road trips, especially. That's our favorite way of going about. Going from place to place. We are in the UK right now, so we're exploring a lot more
Wow.
of these tiny, small, quaint villages in the UK, and trust me, it's amazing. I had no idea.
Are you sharing those pictures somewhere that we can look at them? Like, I'll definitely take a look if you. Is it like Instagram or a blog?
I'm not very good at that, to be honest. My wife is much better. But even generally, both of us, we share among our friends.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much of public images. Maybe Facebook might have a few. But then it's a good point. Maybe we should think about how to share it, in a more public forum because it's we've had some amazing times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. So, what's your wife's name?
Her name is Vaishnavi.
Vaishnavi. All right. Yeah. So it's like the Vinash and the. All right. I like playing with names, but yeah, definitely. Please do check that out for us, please. Like, I mean, well, you have one fan here, one onlooker, right? I would love to see those villages. There's one woman I know, Mary Lunnan, and she does that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating to see those images. It's amazing, isn't it?
It is beautiful, and to be honest, my wife and I decided we'll start a blog about it a year ago. But like everything else, it's just something that'll be done one day, but we never just get around it.
Yeah. So I have an idea for you. You're plugged in. You said you like the road trip version of traveling, and do it in the van or the car, or the whatever vehicle. Do the
Mm,
podcast there. So it's audio. You definitely know how to do a podcast. We're sure
that's a
about
great
that.
idea.
Yeah, and then you could just like dump the pictures together with the podcast and let people know, hey, these are the pictures. So it's really easy touch and go.
Yeah, that's a great idea. No, thanks for the suggestion. I should do that.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it'll be fun too. All right, my friend. Why would you suggest someone do what you've done? And that is specifically to, I love how you created a vent, if you would, around what you're doing. So you're podcasting, you're working, you're interviewing, but you are traveling.
Um, to be honest, the reason I mentioned traveling is because, for me, I've come to realize that I love spending time with my wife in this case. So I love the aspect of, once we have kids, we don't have any kids right now. So once we do that, I want to be much more closer to the family, maybe because some of the experiences I've taken away from, other people that I met over time that seems to be one regret among a lot of people that they did not really explore the time with the family as much as they did. So that's an excuse. Traveling is a really good excuse for us to spend some quality time with each other. So I would say do it because it develops a much stronger relationship with your family and your spouse as well.
Amazing. Well, amazing audience. We are live with Avinash Bajaj. He is the podcast host of the MBA Jam. Do check that out. It's available wherever podcasts are available. Avinash, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm blue Caribbean water. Avinash, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Yeah, Angel, I thought about this question and I'll be completely honest, it's not really the happiest of memories, but actually my earliest childhood memory was me being really fat.
Interesting.
And being teased a lot by other kids. Maybe because it has had such a strong influence over everything I do since then that actually is one of my earliest childhood memories.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how old do you think you were?
I don't know. I was a fat child. I was really fat. Pretty much my whole childhood as I was growing up. So I could be just maybe 7 or 8, if I remember it right.
Yeah. Why do you think over time this was definitely the memory that stuck out so clearly?
I think because I think in my head I have a feeling that a fat child will always be fat in the head,
Mm,
because it makes you want to do more. It makes you want to try and achieve more. It makes you want to try and prove the world that you could go. You can accomplish something in spite of something that people think might hold you back. So when I was fat, a lot of people said, look, you're never going to lose weight. This is ridiculous. But I wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted to, make that jump or make that shift in my own head. And eventually I did lose weight. But then in my head, whenever someone says you can't do something, I'm almost like I'm waiting for that moment, because that's when it makes me want to prove them wrong. It makes me want to, achieve and accomplish more than what someone had thought I could do.
mm.
So that's the positive, side that I'm looking at this particular aspect. That it makes me more ambitious in terms of what I want to do. It makes me more, it makes me want to achieve more, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It does, it does, it does. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Absolutely.
From our conversation, the MBA is definitely one of those aspects of life when you've reached the pinnacle, if you would, in your educational system, where you can quit or continue. I mean, continue to the other aspects, right? Be it the doctorate, PhD,
Hmm.
and to see that you've approached life with that model of achievement with, yeah, most people aren't doing this. It's challenging, and to see that you're running into that, even from that aspect where you were that fat child and you reframed your thinking, and now everything that's going with that is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a good way of putting it.
If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Ah, I don't remember completely, to be honest. I've never been much of a music person.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I got hooked onto podcasting, because I've never been someone who'll just plug onto music. In fact, my most amazing favorite music has been recently. After I got married, because my wife is a massive music fan, and I was like, maybe that's a world I need to start looking into a little bit more. So yeah, I'll be honest, I have no recollection of much of music or songs when I
Yeah.
was 12.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. All right. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, Avinash. So it's yes or no. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Not yet.
Are you married?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have children? You said no.
No.
All right. Do you believe in God?
I don't know.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yeah.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
More than 8.
What about all right, this is it. I almost asked you the same question twice. You're doing so well, you're going pretty quickly. Well, Avinash, after having 1,001 conversations, in 3 months I came up with a workbook, the name of it being Yours, Your Own Unique Real Self. And as you journey deeper into the book, you learn about your own unique real statement, your mission. If you had to share with us, Avinash, your own unique real statement, what would you say that is?
If something does not matter 5 years from now, it shouldn't matter right now.
Wow, I love that. Avinash Bajaj, hey, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, have fun. Make sure you find something that's worth spending your time on. Spend time with family, and try and give back as much as possible to the community that you have learned from. And that is my attempt at doing my podcast, as I mentioned, the MBA Jam, because I want to. I'm a strong believer of paying it forward. There are a lot of people who have been involved in your decision making and your career choices choices, or any choices or decisions that you make, it's important to try and pass that on to the future generation, because that's how uh, I believe that's how we can progress. Yeah, those are my final thoughts, I guess.
Yeah, well, there we go. Avinash Bajaj, hey, this was a great pleasure one more time. Hey, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thanks a lot, Angel. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.